Hi children, I am Auntie Marianah. Today's story is about Carol the cat. The name of our story is Carol Falls in Love with a Dog, and it is written by Roy Lourens. It was late one afternoon when I first saw him as I lay in my position on the windowsill. It seemed as if he appeared from out of nowhere, emerging from the gloom like a magician's apprentice. He came up onto the porch and lay down, exhausted. He was rather skinny and hadn't eaten for weeks. John, the master of the house, drove up the driveway as it was getting dark. As he was about to open the front door, he turned his head sideways to see the dog lying there. "And what are you doing here, Brackenjan?" The poor animal had no energy to run and lay there shivering from fear. "Wait here. I'll get you some water and food. Stay." I don't know what John expected the animal to do. Run away? In a short while, John came back and placed a bowl of water and fresh food in front of him. The dog had better not think of coming inside, because I'll tear him apart, limb from limb. The next morning, I saw that the dog was still on our porch, his head on his paws. I was in a good mind to go and chase him off. Just then, John stepped out onto the porch and said, "Morning, Brackenjan, and how are you today?" The dog looked up and wagged his tail gingerly. John knelt and put out his hand. The dog licked it, and John petted him under the chin. This was not going well at all. Now John may even bring him inside. No sooner had this thought crossed my mind, and John picks him up and brings him into the house. I followed them to the bathroom. Serves the dog right. He's going to have a bath. That's excellent punishment for sitting on our porch. I heard the water running. I waited for the howling and scratching to begin, and for John to shout, "Stop that! You know you need a bath." But all I heard was happy panting. What? It seemed the dog liked to have a bath. This was taking a turn for the worse. My worst fears were realized when John and Mary, the mistress of the house, said to me, "Carol," that's me, "you have a new friend who will be staying for a while until we can find his owners." Well, I could put up with him for a short bit. I could always hide on top of the cupboards. One evening, Mary said, "John, you can't keep calling him Brackenjan." "Why not?" "Oh, come on, silly. How about Rufus? Come here, Rufus." The dog came to her with his tail wagging. "Come here, Brackenjan." The dog immediately turned around and went to John. Humans are strange. Even I could see the dog was neither a Rufus or a Brackenjan. Now, what should his name be? He's well built with golden brown yellowish fur and black vertical stripes. What did he remind me of? A tiger! Of course! I jumped down from my perch onto the arm of the sofa. I looked straight into Mary's eyes and, using my best telepathic abilities, I put the thought into her mind. His name is Tiger. 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 In an instant, Mary said, "I've got it. Why don't we call him Tiger? He reminds me of a tiger, doesn't he? John was not quite so sure, so I moved over to his side of the sofa. I snuggled up to John and using my telepathic powers again, I repeated the name Tiger until John turned to Mary and said, "You know, that's actually a great name for him." "Shoo! Teaching humans is a hard work." Months went by, but nobody came to fetch Tiger. Actually, it wasn't that bad having Tiger in the house. John and Mary still treated me as the queen of the home. I should even try and welcome him. I was bored of staying on top of the cupboards. I approached Tiger, who was sitting in the lounge in front of John and Mary. As soon as they saw me, they stiffened. Yes, they should be afraid, very afraid. They had brought Tiger into this home without even asking me. Tiger sat there, his tail wagging, his head cocked to one side. I looked into his soft eyes with my steely stare, but all I saw was an inquisitive expectancy. He allowed me to come right up to him. Then with a wet, sloppy tongue, he licked me. That's the last thing I wanted. I put out my paw and pulled onto his. He went down in a crouch, ready to play. I jumped to one side. Tiger sprang aside. I jumped forward. Tiger hopped back. John and Mary laughed. Then it was around the house, up and down and over the furniture. The side tables went flying, and John and Mary ran around, putting breakables away. And now there are times when we lie together, curled up in each other's paws. An odd couple indeed. However, there's one thing that's a thorn in my side, and that's when Tiger tries to eat my food. But a swift swipe with an open claw soon puts a stop to that. I think he's getting the message. I have come to appreciate Tiger with his playfulness and soft nature. I had heard that cats and dogs were mortal enemies. Yet here I was, a friend with a wonderful dog. To tell you the truth, I'm in love with this dog, with his soft eyes and golden brown yellowish fur and black stripes. It goes to show that you cannot always believe things others say, and you can never judge a book by its cover or, in this case, by its fur. In our Bible, in John 7:24, it says, "Do not judge by appearances, but judge fairly and righteously." This is such a nice story, kids. Sometimes we are influenced by others by what they say, without finding out for ourselves and making up our own minds. Sometimes we can be hasty and jump to conclusions because we don't know all the facts. We can always rely on the Lord to help and guide us in our decisions. All we must do is ask. And now it's time for me, Auntie Marianah, until next time, to say bye-bye.
This story is read by Marianah Lourens with permission. Carol falls in love with a dog from the series Carol the Cat is written by Robert Lourens and can be read on his blog scribblelow.blogspot.com, or you can contact the author via email robert@highwinds.co.za for a free transcript.